Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I really hope you guys can hear me. So yeah, but today's video is going to be how I told my family and Joseph how I was pregnant. Now, this was not requested, but I have seen a lot of videos about it, so I figured I would do one for you guys. So before we get started, as you guys can see, I am burnt to a crisp, really bad. So yeah, we went to the lake this past weekend and I got burnt really bad, as you guys can see. So that's how that got started. But please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't to join me on this journey, and let's just jump right on into this story time. Okay, so before I begin the story time, sorry if the camera is a little bit like slanted or whatever. My tripod is broken, so it doesn't like to hold my phone very well, and with my little ring light, as you guys can see in my glasses, it's kind of hard for it to not like get top heavy. So yeah, just going to point that out before anybody else does. So just to get started, I guess we should just start from the beginning. My last period was in November. I believe it was around Thanksgiving, honestly. I believe it was the 26th or the 27th, I think. It's pregnancy brain, but I do remember it was in November, like around that time. I just kind of forgot about it where I've been pregnant. So I had noticed as December came, I didn't have a period, and I really didn't think nothing of it. I just kept telling Joseph, I said, I haven't had my period yet. I said, I'm not going to worry unless we have to. So as December went on, it got later and later and later, and then the last week of December came and I still hadn't had my period. And I just kept updating Joseph. He just kept asking usually every day if I'd started my period or not, and I would tell him no. So he kind of already had the idea in his head that I was, but I didn't really believe him. So January came and I still hadn't had my period. So as January 11th came along, I believe that's what day we found out. My test, or my pregnancy test, I wrote the date on the back, and they're in a little baggie in my purse. I believe it was January 11th. We had bought some pregnancy tests and tried them a few weeks before the 11th, and nothing would show up. It would just say not pregnant. So I kind of just brushed it off, and then as the weeks went by up to the 11th, I still hadn't had my period, like I said. So I had Joseph get another pregnancy test. These were just like the really cheap ones from like Walmart or the dollar store that you would get. I believe it was the dollar store ones we got, like the dollar ones, and we just had them in the bathroom. And then I'm just trying to piece it all together myself, guys. So then after the weeks had passed, I told Joseph something was really wrong, because I told him I'd never missed a period ever. I'd never missed a period in my whole life, except one other time when I was with my ex and I stopped taking the birth control pills. that was the only time that I had not had one, besides another time when stress was caused for me to not have one. But other than that, I've never missed a period in my life. I've always been regular, everything like that. So I told him either something was seriously wrong with me or I'm pregnant. And he's like, there's nothing wrong with you. He said, I guarantee you're pregnant. He said, I think you're pregnant. Well, like I said, January 11th came around and all that. It was actually, I believe, if it is the 11th when I believe this is, then it was his little sister's birthday. Her and her boyfriend were over at mine and Joseph's place at that time. So, they had spent the night and everything. And that morning on the 11th, I just decided to take a test when everybody was up. Like, I went and peed. I held my morning pee in all morning. And then I went to the bathroom and I peed in a cup, like a little Dixie cup that we had. And I took the little dropper that came with it and put it on the test. And I brought it into the kitchen and set it on an island. Test, not the cup. Just to clarify that. Just the test. And I covered it up with the box, I believe. And I set a timer for however long it said to wait. I believe them took 3 minutes. It was the longest 3 minutes of my life, let me tell you. As the 3 minutes went by, I looked at the test and you guys could see that I was pregnant. In fact, I will actually grab the test for you guys. I'm not sure how well you guys can see this, but as you can see, it is 2 lines, and on the back, according to the date that I wrote, it was the 11th of January. So these are the ones that I took, and I showed Joseph. Like, I was just like, and I just like, I believe I covered my mouth when I found out. Because when I found out, I was in front of his sister, her boyfriend, and him. And I just kind of, he's like, what? And I kind of just spin the test around and push it towards him on the counter. And he's like, I told you so. He's like, I knew you were. And I was like, I really couldn't say anything. And we showed his little sister, and she also seen the 2 lines. And just to make sure that we were, I had Joseph go out while he went out. He had to go out that day anyway, and I just had him pick up another test just to be on the safe side. Well, I took it, and here it is. As you guys can see, clear as day, 2 lines. So, January 11th is when we found out about our little being. And then I'd also took a test at the health department when I was signing up on my WIC. And here is that test. It's very clear, 2 lines, but that's like a whole different thing. So, yeah, I took those, and I believe we waited for a little bit before we like told anybody. We didn't announce it or anything on Facebook just yet, but his mom, we kind of told her beforehand that we thought I was pregnant because I hadn't had a period, and we brought the test with us. I believe we showed his mom and dad when we dropped his sister and her boyfriend back off here. We showed them. So everybody was a bit shocked, really, in a way. But then after we told them, I texted my dad, and I was like, hey Daddy, I have something to tell you. And he said, what? And I said, I sent him the picture of the 2 pregnancy tests that I took. And I said, I'm pregnant. And surprisingly, he took it very well. So, it was a bit shocking. He was like, are you happy? I said, yeah. I said, I'm very happy about it. And he's like, how far along are you? So that is not something that I was expecting. And I just told him I didn't know, that I just found out. So that's how it went with Joseph's parents and my dad. And then right after I told my dad, I told my mom. And let's just say, at that time, my mom was not the happiest about it. Like, she wasn't disappointed or anything like that, I don't believe. She was just a bit, like, surprised. It caught her off guard and everything like that. And she was a bit distant for a few days, and then everything just started growing and growing and stuff like that. And now she is absolutely ecstatic about it. She loves Baby Haven already. She is so excited for her to be here as much as we are. And it's Nanny's little girl, as she says. So Mom is very happy for us now. So that is how I told my parents. And I think my mom just kind of told the rest of my family. And after I told them, I went ahead and announced it on Facebook that I was. I even made like a cute little picture. It said like Baby Copley coming soon, I believe. And it said expecting our greatest catch. Because we like to fish. And I just thought it would be cute. And yeah, that I believe pretty much sums up how we found out I was pregnant and everything. But just to be on the safe side, I forgot to add this in there. Like, after I told my parents and we told his parents, it was a few weeks later. I wanted to just be sure and know for a fact that I was. And I've known people getting blood tests done for pregnancy. So I went down to the hospital here where I live at, and I went by myself at first because Joseph was at work. And he came right just in time as soon as I was getting triaged or whatever. And then after that, we went to the room that they assigned me and everything like that. Obviously I told them there at triage what was going on, why I was there, you know, everything like that. And I just wanted to be sure. So when I got to my room, it took a little while, but they finally came and they done some blood work. And it took them a little while on that too. And then finally they came back with the results, and I have the papers for that in my purse. I keep all of my pregnancy stuff in my purse together in case I need it at my OBGYN. But I have those papers, and it even like said like came in for blood test for pregnancy, result positive. So at that moment I was just washed in relief in a way, because I wanted to make sure. And the nurse that was there, she was like, are you like happy? Is this your first? And I said yes to both of them. And she like congratulated us. She told me to get on some prenatals and start them as soon as possible, and get in touch with an OBGYN as soon as possible. And that's what we done. And we are led up to this day today. So that, I believe now that wraps up this story for you guys. Sorry that it was a bit all over the place. Like I said, some things were a bit fuzzy, but I tried to remember everything as much as possible for you guys. Pregnancy brain, you forget things, but I haven't, like I said, I haven't been too worried about when my last period was, because I'm just enjoying my little being here and everything like that. I'm almost 26 weeks. I'll be 26 weeks this coming Thursday, and she is doing so good, and I'm so happy. Joseph is in love with her already, and we're just so ready for her to be here, and we're just so excited. So thank you guys so much for listening to my story time. I want to thank each and every one of you for subscribing. It means the absolute world to me, and I just love that you guys want to join me on this pregnancy journey and just be a part of this little family as well. So again, thank you to everybody that watches or subscribes and comments. It means the world to me. You guys have no idea. I know I say that, but it really does. So again, for the 1000th time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.